Greetings and welcome. Last week, a tragedy happened. Four of a family got infected. Initially, it was the child. He slowly got worse on observation and was admitted to hospital and then got discharged. And at the time of his discharge, his mother got worse quickly and she was admitted to hospital and sadly she passed away. Now, the other two members of the family, they seem to have had no major problems and have recovered. So the same virus, it seems, affected these four people in different ways. So it might be puzzling to some people. So I'm going to tell you about basics of infection and infection spread. And I'll take the help of epidemiology, where we have host, agent, and the environment. Or we can say A, B, C. A is the agent, B is the body, and C is the circumstances. So when we hear of a person getting infected or many people getting infected, we all tend to assume that, oh, okay, the human being is the same, the virus is going to be probably the same, and the environment is the same. But actually, if you delve deep into it, you will find that no human being is the same. All of us have our own inherent properties, our own inherent weaknesses and strengths, and our own medical problems. So same is true with the virus, and same is true with the environment. So if we break this down into smaller components, we'll realize that mix and match of this, the agent, body, and the circumstances, mix and match of these, because these three are required to have an infectious disease. A mix and match of this will determine whether we have a mild, moderate, or a severe and fatal infection. So if we look at the agent could be a single strain of the virus, or many other virus strains could be affecting a person. There is no guarantee that we'll have only one strain of the virus, and we hope that it will be one strain. Then it could be a very virulent virus, means very strongly attacking virus, or it may not be so virulent. We hear about so many variants of viruses which are mutating. So many of them are very virulent. When they mutate, they become very dangerously active and affect people very quickly. Some of them, they spread very easily. So that could be a fast spreading virus, but that is not dangerously attacking. Then we could be inhaling a small number of the virus particles, or we could be inhaling a large number of the virus particles. That again determines how bad the infection is going to be on us. If we inhale a small amount of the virus, probably if our immunity is good, we'll eliminate it. Whereas if we inhale a large amount of the virus, then the virus particles will overwhelm our immune system and probably lead to more complications in the body. Similarly, there might be other attributes to the virus. I am not enlisting them because I wanted to keep this presentation very simple. I just wanted to let you know that these are the ways we think when we try to understand an infectious disease, because the qualities of the viruses are different. Now comes the environment. Now the environment is very important for the virus or any infectious agent to come and attack the body, because if the environment is not very conducive, then it's not going to come and attack us. So I spoke about in length in the previous video about the environment, the outside environment, the inside environment, how inside the house is more dangerous for the people because of the crowds, the stagnant air, and the easy distribution of viruses to different people, and how indoors, if we don't have good respiratory hygiene means how we cough and sneeze. So the proper way of coughing and sneezing is to sneeze or cough onto the upper part of the arm so that we can wash the clothes. So these are all important ways of reducing the virus in the air. So I also mentioned that you should keep the windows open so there is air circulation, etc., etc. Now coming to the body, the host. The host, we can think about it as two components. One is the mind and then the body. The mind, in COVID times, there is a lot of disturbance with anxiety, tension, depression, etc. These also have some effect on the immunity of the person. More and more information is coming out on this. But if we go to the physical body, now the physical body, we could be having various attributes. I'll list a few for this presentation. Like if somebody is very healthy and has no other medical problems, if somebody has a few medical problems which are like liver problems, kidney problems, or they have long-term lung problems, or they could be diabetics, or they could be hypertensive or heart problems, etc. Now, even in these diseases, if somebody has been recently diagnosed with an illness like a diabetic or a hypertensive, etc., then it's not so worrying. But if somebody has been diabetic for 20 years, 30 years, or has been having various heart ailments or liver problems for a long time, then they are in a slightly more worrisome category. Again, the host could be categorized as somebody who is very prone for risky behavior, and some people who are very cautious. They are taking all the proper COVID precautions and they are trying to be as safe as possible. So these are the two categories. Then some people could be having a very overweight or obese body. Some people who are more fit, lean, and taking care of their body. Those who are just marginally overweight or marginally obese, they are probably much safer than those who are very morbidly obese, because their breathing and other parts of the body are already affected. So we'll see that there are good and not so good attributes both with the agent, body, and the environment. So if we take the better parts of these three categories, and that affects a person, like suppose if it is a young person, a child, like in this family which I mentioned in the beginning of this video. So the child was probably very healthy, and he probably got a slightly more amount of the virus, and he was able to come out of this illness, whereas his mother, probably she had other medical problems. I'm not aware of that, but if she got a bigger dose of the virus, then she got affected and overcame her immunity, and she lost the battle. So if we take the agent, host, and the environment as three parts of the three corners of a triangle, they are all interlinked to each other. Now if we think that this, my tip of the finger is the environment, and I use that as the fulcrum, and two ends of this scale, which I'm using it as a seesaw, one is the agent and the other is the body. So keeping the environment constant, if we feel that the agent is overpowering the body, then it will drag the body down and the person will lose their battle. Whereas if the person is more fit and the body is able to mount a good resistance against the agent, then it will slowly eliminate the virus and win the battle. So it's just a question of battle of the two ends of the seesaw, the agent and the host. So who wins the battle is determined by the various qualities of these two, because the environment is something that we can't do much about it. We also don't even have much control on the agent, because we can't tell whether we'll inhale a virulent virus or not so virulent virus. Probably we can help ourselves limit the number of viruses that come in by taking adequate precautions, wearing mask, properly fitting mask, or not venturing into crowded places where there is more chances of getting the infection. But the most important thing in this triad is the body. I think we have got a lot of control to improve it and keep it in a good shape, so that when the virus comes to us, we are able to tackle it and eliminate it. And even if the virus comes, probably we can try and limit it to a very mild illness rather than going towards the severe end of the spectrum. So I would suggest that, if you have any anxiety, depression, etc., you should get help immediately, so that you are in a good frame of mind to tackle the illness and its complications. And those of us who have other medical problems, I think we should keep it under periodic review and get advice, so that they are in optimally controlled state, like diabetes or hypertension, etc., etc. And in the meanwhile, if anybody gets any illness, any cough, cold, or fever, etc., please don't disregard it thinking that it is something to do with the change of the environment or the change of the food. I think you should be very alert, on your guard, and immediately seek medical help, however minor the problem is. Stay safe, Be healthy and happy. Thank you.